Hello and welcome to this demo. My name is Mumshad Manambeth. I'm going to demonstrate how to set up an Ansible environment so that we can practice developing Ansible playbooks. So our plan is to set up a few VMs, one of which will act as an Ansible controller and two others will act as the target servers that Ansible controller will target to make configuration changes, install applications, etc. So let's get right to it. In this demo, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up an environment using Oracle VirtualBox. So there are multiple ways for us to do this. We can either do it using VMware Workstation, or we can just pin up VMs if you have access to VMs in your lab environment. Or another way to do it is using Oracle VirtualBox. So Oracle VirtualBox, for those of you who are new, if you go to virtualbox.org, you'll get to this website. So Oracle VirtualBox is a free virtualization software that is available for use at home as well as for enterprise. So it supports Windows and Linux environments, and it's basically free, so it's really easy to work with. So if you download the Oracle latest version of the Oracle VirtualBox that you can see right here, and install it, once you install and power it up, you should get to this interface. So now you have Oracle VirtualBox installed, and I've actually provisioned a few VMs. I have a controller VM and two target servers. So what I did here is first I just went online and searched for an image, a VirtualBox image, and I downloaded a Debian 64-bit operating system, an image, and all I did was just create a new virtual machine using that image. So if you search online, you'll find a lot of images freely available. Now what I've used is this right here. So if you go to osboxes.org/Debian, you'll find this images available here. So I've used the Debian 8.6 Jessie image, and it has about 32 and 64-bit. So I've chosen the 64-bit version, and I've downloaded this image to my local system. You can see the username and password information right here, so keep a note of that. Once you download this particular image, you go to your Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager, click on New to create a new system. The first thing I did is to create the Ansible controller system. So I did an Ansible controller, just going to mark it as number 2. The type is Linux and version is going to be Debian. So I'm going to select Debian 64-bit because that's the image I downloaded. The memory size could be 1 GB, so that's fine. And right here, this is where we select the file that we downloaded. So we're going to select use an existing virtual hard disk file, and then click on browse, and then point to the file that you just downloaded. So I have it under downloads, Debian _8.6-VB-64-bit, and under the 64-bit folder, and I have this .vdi file. So click on that and click on create, and that should create this particular VM right here. The VM that you deploy, make sure it should have a network or internet access, because once you power it on, you're going to install Ansible on it, and that requires the host to communicate to the internet and pull down the Ansible packages required. So you're going to have to make sure that you set the right networking. So I'm going to go into settings and network, and I'm going to select a bridge adapter, and I'm going to bridge to my wireless router. That way it gets to access the external network. Click OK, and then I'm just going to power it on. So it's just powering up now. Going to use the root password, which is osboxes.org. Okay, so I'm in. Now I'm going to open a terminal just to check the IP address. So I'm going to do terminal and ifconfig. Okay, need to switch to root. Wrong password. I'm going to do ifconfig to get the IP address. So that's the IP address. So I can use that to SSH. Okay, so I now have a basic Linux system. What I want to do is before I install Ansible on it, the next step is to install Ansible on it. But before that, I could actually clone this system to get 2 other target servers. Or since I'm not doing any of much customization, I could just create another 2 target servers, just like how I created this controller. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'll now follow instructions on the Ansible documentation site to get Ansible installed. So if you go to docs.ansible.com and the installation page, under Debian, you get to see this information about how to install Ansible. So the first step is to add the following line to etc apt sources.list. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, so instead of using this terminal, I'm going to SSH in using PuTTY because that's a lot easier. So it's 192.168.1.14. And this is my controller 2. So I'm going to create a new SSH connection. And it's going to be SSH. I'm now going to follow the instructions here. So etc apt sources.list. And I'm going to add that new line in there. And then add the key. Then let's do apt get update. So the packages list are updated, and then we install Ansible. Okay, so I have now installed Ansible, and if I type in Ansible, it should give me the help page, and so we're all set. Okay, so we've actually deployed a system, installed Ansible on it, so we're good. We follow the same procedure to install 2 more servers, which will be our target servers, in this case target server 1 and target server 2. And then we're going to target those servers for all our operations or Ansible playbooks in the future. Now, I'd be using these servers for different purposes. For example, in a scenario where I want to deploy the same application across multiple different servers, I'd use those servers for that purpose. Or if I wanted to demonstrate deploying a distributed application which has a web part on one server, database on another servers, then I would use these servers for that purpose too. For example, I'm going to use server 1 for the web and then server 2 for the database. So this kind of setup will help us work with different scenarios like that. If you're running multiple different playbooks against these target servers, you might also want to be able to reset these servers to an initial state before you run your second playbook. So what I have planned to do is to use snapshots for that purpose. So you can take a snapshot of these servers whenever you want by going into the snapshots tab right here in the top right corner. So if you click on snapshots, you'll be able to see the current state of that server, and you'll be able to take a snapshot of the server at any point in time. What this helps you to do is initially, right after you deploy the server and you're ready to run a playbook against it, take a snapshot, and I've called it as the system ready snapshot. That's the initial state. Now I could make any changes to that server, and when I'm done with all my testing, to revert it back, I could simply right-click that the system ready state and say restore snapshot. Obviously, you'll have to power off the server to do that. So that will help me bring back the servers to its original state every time I run a playbook against it and change its configuration. Okay, so as I said before, I have already deployed two target servers called target server 1 and target server 2 just to check the connectivity between the Ansible controller and the target servers. I'm going to run a quick ad hoc command. I'm going to run a quick Ansible ad hoc command. So first I'm going to find out the IP address for these. So I've already added these target servers to my SSH client. So I have my target 1 server as 192.168.1.10 IP address, and I have the target 2 server as 192.168.1.13. So what I'm going to do is in the new controller that I just created, I'm going to create a new inventory file. So I'm just going to say inventory.txt. I'm going to add my target server, target 1, and it's going to have Ansible _ host equals 192.168.1.10, and it's going to have a password called SSH pass, and that is going to be password. And similarly, I have target 2, and the IP address is going to be 192.168.1.13, and the password is going to be password with a capital P and a 0 in it. And this is the password that I reset to those servers. After I deployed the servers, I actually reset the password. So this is the new password. Okay, so I now have my inventory file. Now I could just do a Ansible ad hoc command. So that's going to be Ansible, and then my target server name. So it's target 1. I'll try with 1 server first. And then the module. So I just want to do a ping. So I give a -m for the module, and I would say ping is a module that I want to run. All that it does is it just tries to establish a connectivity to the target server. And then I also want to specify my inventory file. So I'd say -i and then the name of the inventory file. When I run that, it comes back with this error message saying using a SSH password instead of a key is not possible because host key checking is enabled, and SSH pass does not support this. So we basically, so this is a security feature that comes out of the box with Ansible. You either need to modify your Ansible configuration file to accept, to disable host key checking, or you need to manually add the host key into your list of known hosts. So in this case, I'm just going to modify the Ansible configuration file. So that is located at etc ansible ansible.cfg, and I'm just going to search for key, and right here you can see host key checking is false, as the command reads, uncomment this to disable SSH key host checking. Well, basically by default host key checking is set to true, so I'm just going to uncomment it so that it sets it to false, and that way it doesn't check for the host key while trying to establish a connectivity to that host. So I'll save that and I go back, I run that Ansible command once again, and as you can see, it's a success. So we do a ping, and then the target server replies with a pong, and that basically means that it's established a connectivity to the target server. I will now test the second target server, which is target 2, and as you can see, that's successful as well. If you want to try both servers at the same time, you could simply remove 2 and replace it with a star. So target star This is basically a pattern, wildcard pattern used by Ansible, and we've looked at this a little bit in the previous course. So this is one way. This way it tries to establish a connectivity to both the servers, and you could also do the same by creating a group in the inventory file and putting both the hosts under a group. Well, so we've deployed 3 servers. We've installed Ansible on one of the control servers, and we have established connectivity between our controller server and the 2 target servers successfully using a password. So we're all set with our environment, and we can now go ahead and use our playbooks against these servers. So thank you so much, and let's go ahead with the remainder of the course.